Okay, today we're going to do some calculations with numbers in standard form. And we're going to start off with some multiplication. So I'm going to multiply two numbers with standard form. I've got three examples. I've put the standard form numbers in brackets, but they don't have to be, and quite often they won't be. It's just to show which are the standard form numbers. When I'm multiplying with numbers in standard form, I don't need to rewrite them as whole big numbers. I could do, but I don't need to. That's actually a waste of time. We're looking at quick methods. So for this first one, 2 times 10 to the power of 3 multiplied by 4 times 10 to the power of 7. We can rearrange this because they're all multiplied together. I can rearrange this to become 2 times 4, multiply the two number parts, and then the two powers of 10 parts multiplied together again. So 2 times 4 is 8, and when we're multiplying powers of the same base, you should remember these rules from laws of indices, we add the powers. So it's 8 times 10 to the 10, and that number is already in standard form, so I've multiplied those together quite quickly. Second example, the same rules apply exactly. I can rearrange to call that 3 times 7 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 multiplied by 10 to the power 11. 3 times 7 is 21, and I multiply the powers of 10. I get 10 to the power of 17, add the 6 and to the 11. And that's much quicker than writing out the long numbers. The only problem with this is our answer here is not in standard form. So if you remember the standard form, the first number has to be between 1 and 10. So I can adjust this to 2.1. So 2.1 instead of 21. So I've divided this part by 10. So to keep it equal, I need to multiply this part by 10, which means adding 1 to the power. So 2.1 times 10 to the 18 is now in standard form. The final one, I just want to show that it works with negative powers again. So 2.1 times 5 times 10 to the negative 5 times 10 to the power of 9. 2.1 times 5 is 10.5. Adding the powers, negative 5 add 9 is 4. This is not in standard form, it's too big, so I need to do the conversion. 1.05. I've divided that by 10, so I need to add 1 to the power. 1.05 times 10 to the 5. Okay, we're now going to move on to division, and I've got three examples again. I'm going to rewrite these as fractions because the division is just a fraction. So I've taken the number part, 9 over 3, and then the power part, because I've multiplied by 10 to the 6 and 10 to the 4. So that's the first number there, 9 times 10 to the 6, and I'm dividing by 3 times 10 to the 4. Work out the number part first. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And when I divide by powers of the same base, I subtract the power. Remember that from our laws of indices. So that's going to be 3 times 10 to the power 2. And that number is in standard form. The numbers might not always be so simple. So on my second example, I'm going to do 3.6 divided by 4 multiplied by 10 to the 8 divided by 10 to the 3. So I'm dividing the number parts on the left and the powers of 10 on the right. 3.6 divided by 4, well 36 divided by 4 is 9, so 36 divided by 4 is going to be 0.9. The powers, I'm subtracting the powers I'm dividing, 10 to the power 5. This is not in standard form though, because this first number has to be greater than 1. So I multiply that by 10 to get it into the correct format. 9's fine, and then I need to divide this by 10, so reduce the power by 1. 9 times 10 to the 4. Final example, just to show that it works the same with negative powers. 8 divided by 2, so 8 times 10 to the 4 divided by 2 times 10 to the negative 7. 8 divided by 2 is 4. and I'm now subtracting the power. So 4 subtract -7 is like 4 add 7. So it's 4 times 10 to the 11, which is in standard form. Finally, on to addition and subtraction. Now for addition and subtraction, there are no quick rules. There are no quick methods. I'm afraid you can't do it without writing the numbers out longhand. So I'm just going to do one example here. It's an addition, but it will be the same if it was subtraction. So I need to write this number out. So 3.3 times 10 to the 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 33,000. Add together this one, so 6.71 times 10 to the 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 671,000. So the best way to make sure I get everything in the right place here is to write them out as a column addition. Fairly straightforward skill now. So I get 704,000, and if I want to put that back into standard form, 7.04 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no quick methods here. Write the numbers out, perform the calculation, and turn it back into standard form at the end.